The people that Hunter Biden was putting on speakerphone with his sitting vice president father were some of the worst people on the planet. And Goldman thinks that every American is going to believe the fact that, oh, well, they just talked about the weather. All roads lead to Joe Biden. And today we learned without a shadow of a doubt that Joe Biden has been lying to the American people when he said he never spoke with anyone his son was receiving money from.
That was House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer speaking with our own Greg Kelly last night right here on Newsmax. It followed the testimony of Hunter Biden's former business associate, Devon Archer.
Archer reportedly telling the committee members President Biden spoke to his son's business partners at least 20 times on speakerphone, and that Hunter only gave his associates the illusion of access to his father, then Vice President Joe Biden. To discuss, David Gelman is joining us. He's an attorney and partner at Gelman Law Firm. David Katz with us here in studio, a former assistant U.S. attorney and criminal defense attorney. We appreciate both gentlemen to join us today. Mr. Gelman, I will start with you. Based on what we know from the testimony, and again, that would be from committee members and what they have told the public. We haven't seen the transcript fully here. But what do you make of this in terms of the Republicans' investigation into Hunter Biden, into the possibility of Joe Biden being linked to any of the business dealings of his son? What did you take from the testimony from Devon Archer that you know of thus far?
Well, Sean, Emma, thanks for having me. Number one, I thought that from reading and from hearing everything, that Devon Archer was very credible. And that is a big thing because it corroborates a lot of different stories and a lot of other information that everybody got. I really think that this is going to actually be the nail in the coffin for any potential Hunter Biden plea deal that is in the works. What he said yesterday was that 20 times the president or vice president at the time was on business calls with Hunter Biden. That is ridiculous. What's he calling for? To say, hi, how you doing? What's the score of the game? No, everybody knew what he's on. So it does not look good for any potential plea deal. And it could mean for a little bit of a political inquiry or impeachment inquiry for the president.
Yeah, again, Democrats are convinced, at least those who were in the hearing, that it was just weather and pleasantries, although Republicans, David Gelman, to your point, have additional questions, as you raise. David Katz, let me ask you about your take on this tweet. I know you served in the Reagan administration, and former President Ronald Reagan's son, Michael, is sharing his thoughts about how this whole story has played out so far. Michael Reagan writing, quote, "In the 8 years that my father was president of the United States, I never once sat in a room with business associates and called him on the phone. If I had, the Democrats would have skewered me." Mr. Katz, your thoughts on sort of how this is being handled so publicly, if, again, what this testimony is alleged to be true?
Well, I think this is pretty devastating, not just for Hunter Biden, but really for the president. I mean, I was a prosecutor for years before. Now I'm a criminal defense attorney. And this is just the kind of evidence you would want to have if you were bringing a case against President Biden. That, he's on these calls. Why is he on these calls? And you're supposed to believe that Hunter puts him on these calls because he talks to his dad every day, and his dad just naively, after all these years knowing the way Washington works, that he naively gets on the calls and has no idea that his son is peddling influence. But his son is, in fact, deviously peddling influence, but Joe Biden just doesn't know it. And he's also getting all of this money that supposedly Joe Biden doesn't know about. This is really troubling if you think about it from the point of view of the House Republicans and the point of view of a prosecutor. It also makes you wonder if Hunter Biden, under this Democratic narrative, is really that devious. Why is he getting 2 misdemeanors only? Why is he getting pretrial diversion? Why is he getting no jail time? And the more the judge in Delaware, the federal judge, looks at it, she's got to accept the deal, but then she's got to impose a sentence. It's not a sentencing bargain. So there may be a feeling by her. She said, look, I can't live with this sentencing bargain. I can live with the deal. I might not have suggested 2 misdemeanors if it were up to me. I can live with the 2 misdemeanors, but I can't deal with the no jail sentence. And then at that point, it may just all blow up again in a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm. Right. The GOP, again, a few members now launching a probe, into the DOJ in terms of that plea deal, which was rejected by the judge. Noreka. So again, wondering how this plea deal got made, again, as an investigation is unfolding, and now you have Devon Archer's testimony there on file. A lot to learn. Doesn't stop there. David Gelman, David Katz joining us live. We do appreciate you both. Thank you, gentlemen.